Hello, in this video we're going to walk through beating Jia Qiu. I welcome any criticism on the pronunciation, but that's how I believe it's pronounced. And we're going to talk first about the map and team composition and artifacts, then we'll go into the video. So one thing I have to say right before I get started though, is that it takes a long time to get to this boss fight. It took me like 3 hours of going through the dungeon to reach here. And once you get to the boss, you can only bring one team in. Once you leave, let me get my green marker out. Once you leave the rest area that we can see circled here around it, once you leave that and enter the yin yang symbol, you can't switch your team anymore. I mean, you can change the order you deploy people in and stuff, but your team's locked in. Now you have infinite team selection choices at the rest center, and you could even exit out of the dungeon, save and quit, go back to the rest of the game, farm up levels, farm up thread, whatever you want to do, come back, re-enter the rest station, and it'll all be there for you to pick and choose from. But once you actually commit to doing the boss fight, you're committed. So just be aware of that and don't go to this node until you're ready. While you're in the rest station, all of the Honglu identities, except for his Walpurgis ones, will be available in the support tab, but instead of being listed as support, they'll say rental. That's because Project Moon is letting you use any Honglu identity completely maxed out with maxed out ego for this boss fight, and well, for the whole rest of the dungeon too. That's very generous by Project Moon. I really appreciate that. So any strategy you see online, whether it's in my video or someone else's, you can copy their Hong Lu and use that maxed out, and you just have to worry about the rest of the team. Now with that out of the way, one last thing I want to say about this video is that I will be doing this as a solo run because that is the least team investment option that I can show off in a guide. If I go in with 7 meta units, I'll win. But then if you already had 7 meta units in a good team, you probably wouldn't be looking up guides on the internet. At least that's my guess. So this video is going to be a solo run that's very low investment and that you don't need a lot of resources to do, especially because you can get the Hong Lu and all the egos for free from the rental system that Project Moon just implemented. I do plan on making a follow-up video though for people who don't like solo runs or just can't wrap their mind around that for some reason, even though it's not that complicated. Sorry, that sounded like an insult when I said it, but it's a real thing. Some people don't like solo runs. I will try to get a follow-up video out where I beat it with a full team of 7, and then I won't be able to show off a team that's low investment because, you need 7 units that are all level 55. But I will be able to show off some strategy and stuff. But just to start off, I'm going to show off a low investment solo strategy and walk you through how exactly to do it, okay? So with that 3 minutes of preamble over, let's get right to it. You'll see I have 43 coins, alright? I got those 43 coins because I did everything. I cleared out every single node, did all the options, and that got me to 43 coins. This room right here that I'm circling is where you get this artifact, the Jia family bolus. And the bolus gives you extra skill power up and 1 free revive. Now, if you die in a solo run and the revive goes off, you've probably lost anyway. But hey, a revive's nice, but what we really want is that extra attack power. I don't know what the other gifts do because when I showed up, I had 25 coins, so I was able to get the Jia family bolus. But there you go. Last gift to note is here. We have I'm circling it, we have the Heaven Heart Mending Pills that restore 10 sanity a turn. Get these, get these, get these. You get them on the first floor, so I can't circle the node. But there's a guy where your options are be nice to him and give him a door pass, or kill him and get coins. Well, if you're nice to him, he gives you these pills, which you really want because they're really good. Okay, so now let's talk about team composition very briefly. You use Disei Honglu. If you don't want to solo with Disei Honglu, the strategy I'm going to show still works because it's the same basic concept, but there are other videos out there of people soloing with various Honglu identities, and I'll link some good ones in the description of this video. But go ahead and rent Disei Honglu, and then G Corp Gregor, so I don't have G Corp Gregor. G Corp Gregor is really good for solo runs because he gives you healing on Clash Win. Another units that I chose to use were Disei Merceau and Disei Yisang, and both of those are good because they give shield upon discard, and Disei Honglu discards. Or sorry, it's not pronounced Disei, it's pronounced Dieche, I think, or I'm actually not quite sure. But anyways, Dieche. And then Chef Ryoshu, I got almost no value out of her. She just gave me a tiny bit of healing. So really the only 3-star needed for this particular run is Dieche Merceau, because you can just rent Dieche Honglu. So that's about as low investment as it gets. I'm asking for, 1 3-star identity if you want to copy me. Then these two over here, Zwei Sinclair and G Corp Otis, they just provide a little bit of buffing. It's just kind of nice. It's not that big of a deal though. Okay, let me turn off my marker and let's pull up the run and start coaching you through how to beat this fight now. Okay. So one thing I just have to warn you is that this replay is 40 minutes long. I'm not going to show all 40 minutes of footage, but it's just a really long fight. There's just no way around it. Let's turn on the audio so it's not so quiet. We'll leave it on low volume though. And let's talk about turn 1. So turn 1 takes a little bit of RNG, but honestly not that much. You either want to get a good clash setup where you can get some sanity, or like I did, just evade. Because I don't want to get a bunch of rupture stacked on me. So I evaded what I could, and then I just took the rest of the hits. Can't really get around this. Turn 2, just clash with the guy if they're using a green skill, because the green skill is their most dangerous, and then just have your second coin slot evade. No big deal. We'll skip through this. And there we go. I would say I got through the first 4 enemies on half my attempts, and on the other half I just had a bad turn 1 and reset. But if you can get through turn 1, you'll be good. So there you go. You can see I got through turn 1. I lined up my evades and I just crushed them. Very little to say here. The only thing worth commenting, if I wind the video back, is you'll notice I'm at 3 insight for all of my attacks. That's because I'm doing the insight saving trick, which I'll talk about in a second. Okay, so we're 2.5 minutes in, and we've made it to phase 1 officially. We'll call that first of phase 0. So the insight saving trick, if I have the video paused here, if you can't discard a guard skill. It's not something that is obvious, but that's just how Limbus Company works. You can't discard a guard skill. So I discarded one of his skill 3s, the golden one, to go to 3 insight, and then I lined up my full bottom row with evades and only used my top row skills, so that way I'm not discarding anything and I could stay stuck at 3 insight. You'll see I do that a couple of different times in the run, but I'm not able to consistently do it. But I just wanted to say now that that's what's happening. Okay, so first turn, they give you an easy one. There's only 1 unbreakable coin coming to you on the first turn of the phase. And that's from Jia Qiu's Cut Them Down Mao skill. And so what we need to do with these unbreakable coin skills is we need to clash them and defeat them. Then when the unbreakable coin goes off, you need an evade lined up to go off to dodge the unbreakable coin, because it's still coming for you. And you do not have the tankiness to just tank that coin. Even if it's just like 1 5-coin skill, these guys inflict so much rupture that it's way too dangerous to be eating their damage. So you'll see what I just did. I'm going to pause it for a second. I'll wind it back to 10 seconds. You'll see what I did is I have a clash. No clash lined up. I'll have a clash lined up in a second. I have a defense skill lined up with this skill that's going first. Oh, I forgot about this. I did a different strategy for this turn. Sorry, we'll talk about that in a second. But I did have an evade lined up to make sure I evaded him. And then I'm going all in on Zilu to lower her sanity as much as possible, because Honglu is a sinking identity. But I screw it up, and I accidentally forget about her clashable counter, and I lose, and I feed her an extra 10 sanity. So my plan to get her down to half sanity failed. But that's okay, because we're evading. So anyway, it's a bad first turn, not a great example, but you can sort of start to see how you're setting stuff up. Okay, now here's where the problem lies, is with those, I'll wind it back a second, those two blue skills that we can see. Those blue skills are very problematic because their coin values are huge. I mean, we're looking at rolling a 20 flat, and she's going to do a ton of damage and inflict a bunch of rupture count. So these roll too high to evade. This is what I've been seeing people online mess up, is they hear, oh, a solo run. The trick to a solo run is just evade everything, then pile on damage where you can. That doesn't work here because they roll so high, they'll outroll your evade. So what you need to do is clash these skills, then have an evade lined up to dodge the unbreakable coins that are going to come at you after the clash, okay? So you're going to see me set that up because I have to lock in here. Yeah, just doing a bit of reading. I was checking out, making sure I was doing everything right. But you'll see me line up a clash here in a second, hopefully. There we go. I was playing kind of slow when I was recording this video because I wanted to make sure everything worked. But there we go, perfect. I'll pause for a second. I'm clashing it with my skill 3 because I know that's going to do a lot of damage. I mean, clash very high. It's dominating. Then I have a guard lined up. Ignore the fact that it says one-sided. Just ignore that. I have an evade lined up on the same skill slot that I'm clashing. So that way, after the clash is over, she's going to try to hit me. But I already have an evade lined up to counter that slot. So we're good. Okay, back to watching the video. I'll speed up parts of it, but I want to show these first couple turns in their entirety before I start speeding stuff up. Yeah, and you can see me thinking. The stuff I'm thinking about is, it took me so long because I was trying to figure out how to maintain 3 insight, but eventually I realized that it's just impossible to stay at 3 insight the whole fight, and you need to accept some turnover. So there's her other really strong skill. Now, what you'll see that I'm doing is I'm realizing that once an evade goes off successfully, just like in Library of Runa, if you played Library of Runa, successful evades can be reused on new attacks. So my plan here is, because her yellow skill up front there is going first, since she has the highest speed, is I'm going to dodge that yellow skill. Then I'll have done a successful evade, so the evade will go back to my character for reuse, just like in Runa. And then it's going to dodge those unbreakable coins that are coming to me. That's what I was kind of thinking in my head, and you'll see me do that a couple times in the fight. Although I actually, yeah, there we go. I line it back up again. Now with Jia Qiu, you have to do this whole process twice. So you need to do it once for Zilu, and once for Jia. I'm just really struggling how to pronounce his name. We're just gonna call him Jia Qiu because I'm a silly American. And there it is. So I'm lining up an evade to go onto his skill slot that's using the unbreakable coin. And then after that successful evade, I'm hoping, well, not hoping, I know it'll work this way, that Hong Lu is going to reuse that evade on his red skill. Now I lost the clash there, but I got lucky, and even though I didn't break her coins, I still evaded. That was pure luck. I wouldn't rely on stuff like that. But it's better to be lucky sometimes, right? So there we go. You can see I broke her coins, so her skill's weakened. She's attacking me, but now I'm good to go on evading. Same thing over here. Now it's time for his beatdown. Okay, we're clashing an unbreakable coin. But this evade I used earlier on Zilu is being reused to evade here. And then, oh, I had a one-sided attack lined up on him, so it went over to her. That was a bit of a mistake. And now it's reusing my successful evade over here against Cut Them Down Mao. So that's all what the solo runs are about. If you want a low investment run, just solo it with Hong Lu and know how to cycle your evades like what I'm doing now. There is one part of this run where I screw it up super bad, and I'll pause and I'll show what went wrong, so that way you don't make that same mistake. I still managed to beat the fight even though I made a bad mistake. But okay, so I'm going to skip ahead because these next few turns are identical, and I really don't want to upload a 40-minute video on YouTube because I know people don't watch those. But this turn went exactly the same as last turn. You can see I broke those coins, and then I evaded. See it again? Break the coins. And you'll see an evade here. Okay, visit the World of Wonders. She comes back for the clapback, but I'm ready. Boom. Alright, same deal. Keep going. Skip ahead 5 minutes in the fight. Same deal. Broke his skill, his cyan skill, his gloom skill, then I dodged it. Everything's going great. There is a part in the fight coming up I want to show off where he uses a purple skill. Let's see if we can find that. The purple skill is super dangerous. Oops. Thought I went too far. Oh, where's the purple skill? There it is. So here's the deal with the purple skill. After a couple turns have gone by, he's going to use I must push you further. Now with I must push you further, let's look at the text. Let me get the green marker back up. Let's look at the text, okay? Coin power for rupture, coin power for rupture count, and he inflicts a bunch of rupture. This is horrible. It's such a strong skill. It's really tough to deal with. You can see my clash is hopeless, right? Now, there are two ways to deal with this, okay? Two ways to deal with this. Well, three ways. But one of the ways isn't going to work very well. So let's talk about the way that's not going to work very well and get out of the way. You could potentially apply enough syncing with Hong Lu that his sanity is so low, he's just not likely to roll heads. Now, that is possible in phases 2 and 3. It's pretty tough to do that in phase 1 to get him below 45 sanity, so I wouldn't try that. The next thing you could try to do, and this is the best way, is keep your rupture low. Now you'll see I screw up and I have a bunch of rupture. I have 9-3 rupture on, which means he's getting +3 coin power, which is making his skill way stronger. That's a huge mistake for me, and that's because I screwed up a couple of evades earlier, because I was kind of losing focus. Now the third way you can deal with this is the way I dealt with this, and I actually won this hopeless clash, is before my clash with Land of Illusion went off, I got hit by Zilu, and she stripped my rupture off me because she hit me 3 times or something, and I lost my stack of rupture. Now, this depends on what skills they're using and what is going to attack. Or maybe it was his red one that hit me. I'm not sure. We'll play it back in a second. That's the third way, though, that even if you reach this hopeless moment, you can still try to deal with it. So don't give up, skeleton, as they say. Set up a clash with it, then have an evade. You can see I have an evade. That's going to go behind it to dodge any of his coins that get through. Let's see it happen. Okay. And this is the most dangerous part of the encounter because phase 2 is way easier than phase 1. And phase 1 is hard because of that skill. So don't be discouraged. It's only going to get easier after you can get through this really dangerous counterattack fight. Okay, we're going to see what happens. She goes. And there we go. So she stripped 2 rupture off me because she hit me. That was just pure luck for me. Then I go here. Attacking. This unbreakable coin is going to hit me because I line up my evade wrong. But it strips my rupture stack off me. And it reduces his coin power from 7 to only 5. And I'm able to win the clash. Very scuffed strategy. Don't recommend. I would just try to keep your rupture count lower than what I did. But it's doable. I mean, it didn't take me that many tries to beat this fight. Okay, now let's skip ahead and let's go to phase 2. Because the rest of phase 1 is just like this. Okay. Skip ahead. You don't want to see the dialogue spoilers. Alright. Now with phase 2, the mechanic here is, he's testing us, right? He's Confucius. And so because he's testing us, he's gonna start applying something called dialogue. Oh, and I should note something really quick before we get into phase 2. His health bar fully resets, so don't even bother trying to kill him in phase 1. Phase 1 ends when you get him to half HP. The turn will then immediately end, and he'll return to full HP the moment he reaches half health. So don't worry about trying to kill him. Just get him to half health, and the phase will immediately end, even if it's mid-turn. We arrive at phase 2. So he's going to alternate, where he does one turn giving us the beatdown, and then he's going to do one turn where we can farm dialogue off him. We repeat that cycle 3 times, and we're done with phase 2. Easy peasy. So how do we get through this? Well, it's a lot easier, because instead of having to manage 2 characters, having to juggle Zilu and Jia Qiu, I've pronounced his name so many different times. But instead of having to manage 2 characters and 2 kinds of evades going off, we only have to manage 1. And so we're chilling. And yeah, so you'll see I'm just lining up clashes. That's his dangerous one, because there's 4 unbreakable coins. So I just have to make sure I have an evade targeted onto that slot to make sure I can evade it after I defeat it. And then otherwise, it's just going to be spamming ego, right? Because I have so many ego resources, because this was from a dungeon. So just line up an ego, line up a second ego, skip ahead a little. Yeah, it took me like 2 minutes to decide what to do. I was really thinking when I was working on this video. There we go. You can see I have the 3 egos lined up on his 3 strong skills. Land of Illusion is the carry, because it means I get my sanity back, and the other ones, I'm just gonna have to live with them. There we go. I don't have an evade lined up for this one, because I kind of screwed up. If I'd known that clash was gonna go first, I should have had the evade lined up there, so then it goes into my reuse pool, and I could reuse it for this red clash. But I just wasn't thinking, and I just kind of played it safe. There we go. Very nice. Bot evade. And we'll see my evade get see an evade go off again for this one. Okay. Beautiful. Alright, so this is where we do the thing. So he's trying to give us dialogue, and we need to play along, and we need to win the clash against him. It's a pretty weak skill, but you need to clash it. You can't just evade it, even though it's weak. Yeah, see, it doesn't roll that high at all. So line up an attack to target it, and then have an evade go off behind it, okay? Just like this. Just like this, if I pause for a second. Attack's going to go off, we're going to win the clash, then we're going to dodge the clapback. Again, over and over, I'm just trying to repeat, that's exactly what we're trying to do. You will see me screw up in the next phase of this, if I skip ahead to next cycle. Skip through this. Animations take a while because 7 skills have to go off. So you'll see me make a really big mistake here, and I want to call this out because this mistake almost cost me the run, which would have sucked super bad. And to be honest, I don't know why this worked this way. You'll see that, now to explain the mistake I'm about to make, you'll see that I'm at 8 speed, Zilu's at 4 speed, and Jia Qiu is at 3 speed. So I clash Zilu, and I think, okay, that clash is going to go off first because it's the 2 highest speed people clashing. Then I have an evade lined up to evade Zilu. You'll see me line this up in a second. So my idea is clash Zilu, evade the clapback, evade goes into my reuse pool. I then reuse the evade to dodge Jia Qiu, okay? This doesn't work. Why? I have no idea. That's how Limbus game mechanics are supposed to work. I suspect there's something in the code that says, like, answer me Jia Qiu goes first, because it's like a hype skill, so maybe it's coded to always go first. I have no idea. But I screw up, and I don't have an evade ready to go to dodge the clapback from that. So I take like 20 damage that I don't need to take, which puts me right above my stagger threshold. So don't greed when he's doing this little dialogue dance, and just have an evade lined up on him no matter what the speed values say. That way you don't almost throw your entire run like I do here. We'll see that in a second. So yeah, see, the clash happens first. Why? I have no idea, because you lose faster than him, so that clash should have gone first. But it just does. I don't have an evade lined up, and I get hit really nasty. And I haven't even discarded anything yet this turn, so I don't even have any discard shield. Anyway, let's skip through the rest of this. And same deal, same deal. Set up attacks and evade the clapback. Skip ahead. There we go. Beautiful. Yep, Land of Illusion, super good. Try to use Land of Illusion over the other two ego options whenever you can, because Land of Illusion gives you your sanity back, which makes it super worth. Super worth. Dimension Shredder, very good. Inflicts Fragile, which is nice. Now, I was getting really tired here, so I did not have a dodge lined up to dodge that attack. It's just a mistake. There's just no way around that. It's just a stupid mistake. So I end up getting hit by it. And then I believe right here I get hit by it again. But I'll show you how to come back from this fiasco. Yeah, I screw up and I get hit by it again. Very bad, very bad. And I lose the clash here. Or no, I win the clash, but I get hit anyway. And I get staggered. Now the run should have probably ended here, but for some reason, when he's switching from mode to mode in phase 2, if you get staggered at the end of like that mode, you become unstaggered in order to get dialogue. I think this is a failsafe by Project Moon to stop soft locking, because he only gives you 3 chances to get dialogue, right? And so I think Project Moon programmed in a safeguard to ensure that Hong Lu is always unstaggered for this rotation to make sure you can get dialogue. So I would suspect if you got staggered when he is in this mode and then he was going back to his normal mode after, you would not get unstaggered, and that would be a disaster. You could lose the whole run. But thank you, Project Moon, for this safeguard. Unless it's a bug, in which case, please don't patch it. But there you go. That's a nice little thing. You get unstaggered. And with that second chance at life, I was determined not to screw it up. And yeah, you can see I stopped moving here because I'm like, what happened? Why am I unstaggered? I thought the whole run was over. But I decided, nope, I'm not going to screw it up. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to line up all my evades exactly right. And that's what I do here. I was checking his kit to see if he had anything I need to know, but he doesn't. And there we go. Just the old simple clash evade. I don't know why I took it back, but I did. I guess just because I wanted to make sure that I won the clash. I'm gonna skip ahead a bit. Rewind it back a second. And there we go. You can see that I decided to use the ego to clash Zilu because her Starblade is so dangerous. I have another skill clashing Answer Me. I have an evade lined up on Answer Me, and then I'll just clash the rest of the mooks because there's no point in trying to do damage this phase because they have so much shield that trying to do damage to the bosses is fruitless. Okay. Get through these nice animations. All my evades go off successfully because I was actually paying attention this time. Beautiful. I do get kind of unlucky. I live one of the grunts alive on 1 HP. The grunts infinitely come back during this thing, so it doesn't matter if you kill them. I was just hoping to get my on-kill healing from Chef Ryoshu to make it relevant, but no, I never get it. And so we come to the final turn. Something weird happens here. So it says he's after attack ends turn, right? So I figured it didn't matter what I did because he had more speed than me, so he would just go and instantly end the turn. He actually won't take a turn because there are no other teammates on the field. And so actually you get a full turn. So what I should have done here is I should have gone to 3 insight by discarding my skill 3. But can you blame me for not knowing that he just wouldn't take a turn because he had no one to target? I assumed he would target and just do no damage, but no. Anyway, pretty weird interaction. And this gives us a great window to just take him to negative 45 sanity. And with that, the fight is in the palm of our hands. I mean, at negative 45 sanity, he can't do anything. He's completely out of the fight. There we go. Just clash it. He gets less clash power if you have dialogue. Since you've been getting all the dialogue like a good player, you'll be fine. Just clash it for his, and yeah, you'll just crush him. And take this opportunity just to pile on more sinking.
그렇다면
그 무리가 위태로워야 입을 열겠구나. You see that I just clash it and evade it. Excuse me. And yeah, that's the fight. The next 3 minutes or 2 minutes is just more of me giving him the beatdown. Phase 3 is extremely easy. If you've made it through phase 1, the hardest phase, you survive through phase 2, you can definitely beat phase 3. There's nothing to be scared of here. You have 7 skill slots. He only has 4. Plenty of flexibility to work with. You only need to take him to half HP. You've got this. Or maybe it's to his stagger bar. I actually don't quite remember. But it's not that big of a difference. You've got this. Skip ahead again. Yeah, it should be right about here the fight ends because I get him to half HP. And don't worry, I have the video clipped so there will be no spoilers for the story after beating him. So you won't get any story spoilers. That should do it. Maybe one more attack. Yep, half HP and he's done. Well, there you go. That's how to solo him. It's all about the evades. A lot of people in Limbus Company, they're not confident in their ability to evade, so they don't like solo runs, or they don't understand that you can evade an unbreakable coin, you know, after you've already clashed it, because that's kind of a new weird thing you can do in the game since Kanto 7. But you can. That's how you do it. I hope this video helped you, and if you are still struggling, leave a comment and I'll try to help. Don't forget about the ID rental system. And I'll see if I can get a video out about beating him with a full 7-man team and not just doing a solo run video. Alright, have a good day and good luck out there, managers.